All these guys played at a high level in college. So even Keegan Murray, our guy James Edwards likes Keegan Murray. That's another guy that at least you can watch and see the development, see the progression. I don't know what to expect from Sharp, Sean.
What up? Welcome to From Half Court. Started with the Kawhi laugh. I'm Sean Murphy alongside my guy Jeff Iafrady. Jeff, what it do, baby?
Oh, what it do? I mean, Sean, we got kind of a controversial thing to talk about today among Pistons fans. A little bit controversial.
Yeah, we do, Jeff, because there's a lot of people on there with this guy, and it's really
Including me.
it's about 100, including you. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I talked to Ashton the trainer the other night. Shout out Ashton. We actually went live on Instagram for a little bit, and Shaden Sharpe is a guy that I know Ashton the trainer believes in, and he thinks he could potentially be a Jalen Green type of ceiling. But Jeff, you know what the difference is between Jalen Green and Shaedon Sharpe?
Jalen Green played against grown men.
Jalen Green had some footage against some real basketball opponents, man.
Yeah.
Like, what am I missing? Like, this guy, like, you know what I am missing? Footage. That's what I'm missing. So, like, Jeff, why are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Shout out Kool-Aid, by the way. But why are you drinking the Kool-Aid on Shaden Sharpe? Why should I be drinking the Kool-Aid on Shaden Sharpe? And where realistically would you be okay with the Pistons taking him in the first round?
I think as of right now, obviously we're waiting on the lottery, and that'll help clear a lot of things up. Listen, if you land a top 3 pick, I'm not taking Shaden Sharp. I'm sorry. Like that's not. So I want to clarify the Kool-Aid I'm drinking. I'm drinking if you're kind of in that back half of that top 10. I mean, I like Ben Mathurin a whole lot. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody they should favor Shaden. Maybe the potential I could see, but over a guy like Ben Mathurin who's shown us footage in college and played at a very high level. So I just want to say this though. I am insanely intrigued. I am enamored by his talent. Obviously, you don't know if he has a jump shot. At least you haven't seen it at a collegiate level. We don't even know if it'll be there right away at an NBA level. But I think the athleticism, obviously 6'6", just seeing that type of prototype next to Cade in the backcourt, I think that's what gets people so excited. But Sean, I'm a little worried too, because people are talking about Shaden Sharp. We had Anthony even telling me, he'll tell me things at the studio about Sharp and just the upside and all this stuff. And I get it. Like, if you watch his high school film, you'll see what he's talking about.
Right.
But that's the problem. His high
school film.
You can't base a prospect coming out of the NBA draft. I mean, listen, like back in the day, you could take guys right out of high school. Sharp honestly might have the skill set to do it. I mean, J.R. Smith came out of high school, so I feel like Sharp could. Right. But this is where I am at it right now. I think the Pistons, you're going in the lottery. Let's say they do land a top 4, let's say top 5 pick. I want a finished product. I mean, at least not a finished, I shouldn't say a finished product, because they really aren't. None of these guys are finished products, but I want more beef. I want something like, give me something more than just, workout videos and high school film. Like, all these guys played at a high level in college. So even Keegan Murray, our guy James Edwards likes Keegan Murray. That's another guy that at least you can watch and see the development, see the progression. I don't know what to expect from Sharp, Sean.
Dude, okay, so here's the thing. All the footage I've seen of Shaden Sharp is in a vertical bar, like I'm on TikTok, and it's just all these draft YouTube channels that are showing footage in a high school gym, which is great. And like, you can see what they can do. You can look at some of their intangibles, but the problem is that they pick the best footage. It's all showcasing what they can do. It's scripted. And also, all of these guys are going to look like gods in a high school gym. I saw Carlos Arroyo put up a 60 bomb in a YMCA clip on Twitter the other week. Like, that's the type of things that we see. That's just how these things go. So for everyone that's like saying, like, I don't know, man, like we might need to like get Shaden Sharp. Like, he should be up towards the top of the draft. People aren't talking about Shaden Sharp enough. What is there to talk about? Like here's the thing. Like, again, like you can look at his scoring. You can look at what he can do. You can look at his footage in high school and say, okay, yeah, this guy at every level he's played has been elite on the scoring end. Do we know what this guy can do against grown men defensively? Do we know if this guy can hold his own? Like, athletically, he should be able to. He has a good size to him, 6'5", 6'6", but again, that's not guaranteed. Like, this guy sat out an entire year playing basketball, did he not?
He did. And that's the risk right there. So For me, listen, Pistons fans, I know people are. I tweeted out the other day, this is someone to keep an eye on, but
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much it. Keep an eye on. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a top 4, top 5 pick, I mean, would you, if I had to give you Jaden Ivey or Sharp, who are you going with?
I'm going
If you had
Jaden
to pick,
Ivey because at least with Jaden Ivey, I know his pros and cons. I know where his ceiling's going to be. I know that he can compete against guys at the collegiate level. He was among the
right,
top of his class. So like, even though coming in like Shaden Sharp definitely could have more of a ceiling, and I acknowledge that. And I might be hypocritical wanting Chet more than Jabari and those guys, but like the difference with Chet, not only have I seen his high school footage, I've seen his college footage. I have
right,
years of footage that I can go back and watch Chet Holmgren. I know what that prospect is. And I've watched a good amount of footage on Shaden Sharp. And you know what? Yeah, there's things I like about him. There's things that look tantalizing. But guys, let's stop acting like he's a top 5 prospect, because the truth of the matter is he should not be a top 5 pick in this draft.
no.
He just
No,
shouldn't be.
and whoever's taking Sharp or Shaden Sharp would have to be at least patient with his development and would have to at
Mm-hmm.
least acknowledge that it's going to take a good chunk of just his rookie year to just get his legs under him, like get back to
Mm-hmm.
playing basketball again, hitting jump shots, getting better, working on his game. I don't know. I mean, maybe Pistons fans feel like we have, and we do have the time. Obviously, we've sucked for the last couple of years. We can suck for another year. But
Right.
I would just like a finished product. Like, that's why I'm so high on Jabari Smith, because I know what I'm getting. Like,
Right.
Jabari's going to come in and hit jumpers at the highest level, in basketball. So I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
With Sharp, I think there is a lot of risk there. But you've already acknowledged it, Sean. It's not like we're hating on the kid. You've acknowledged the upside. So it's
Yeah.
just, what if you're a GM, and this is something we can even, if you could comment down below. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
general manager, in your job, potentially you don't want to put your job on the line like that. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're selecting a top 4, would you take Sharp and be that confident that he's going to work out? I don't know. Like you said, we talked about Jalen Green. It's not the same. I mean, they're very similar prospects, but it's not the same because Jalen Green played a whole year on the Ignite in the G League, played against
Mm-hmm.
grown men.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's not like you're going to take a Sharp and he's going to have a Jalen Green role this year like he did on the Rockets and just be like a bucket. I mean, they didn't win a lot of games. It's going to take some time for him, no doubt about it.
Yeah. What I think we need to do, Jeff, is I think we need to reach out to Ashton. I want to see if we can get him back on the show. And I want to hear what
Explain
his
it to
thoughts
us.
are in this class. Yeah, yeah, not just Shane, but just like all these guys. Because
Yeah,
he has a great understanding of this class coming up and a lot of those guys. So I'm just curious to hear what his thoughts are. But again, and I'm a little less hesitant to take a risk on Shaden Sharp if we go the route of trading a Jeremy Grant, getting a first round pick in return, and using that first round pick that's also in the top 10. If we can do something like that, because in my opinion, I think what you're hitting on is the fact that this year, in order to really capitalize and to reach the next level, this organization needs a surefire pick, a guy that can be a stable number 2
yeah,
alongside Cade Cunningham, because you don't have many opportunities, as the Pistons haven't in the past how many years. Like, when was the last time, even before we got the number 1 pick, that we had a top 5 pick?
right.
Was 2003. So, this is something that Detroit just needs to get right, especially if they want to maximize the potential of having a Cade Cunningham. So obviously I look at Shaden Sharp and I look at his game. I look at how him and Cade can maybe play together. But again, the ceiling of that isn't even higher than Cade and Paulo, Cade and Chet, Cade and
Right.
Jabari, because that's the way the game's going. Am I wrong?
Yeah, and even the Pistons themselves, even Troy Weaver, I'm sure knows now. Like, Cade sped up this rebuild.
Yep.
Like, as well as he's played, now they understand. Like, listen, we got to get the ship right. And if you're going to go out and draft Sharp with, like you said, let's just say they only have 1 first round pick, it's risky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would feel.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought it up, because if they trade Jeremy Grant and get another first round pick, I mean, now we're talking. You take them, in the back half of that top 10, and then maybe you have something there. But to use your only first round pick on him, it's a lot. I mean, and you have to really trust. I get, Dwayne Casey's hell of a developer, but that's a lot. I mean, it is. Ask for him to come in year 1 and be a stud.
Now, don't get me wrong. If Troy Weaver does it, I support him, because he is yet to prove me wrong. He is yet to do anything that truly makes me question him. Obviously Killian might be the 1 pick, but even then, you look at what he can do. You look at how the playoffs have gone. You look at what the intangibles are of a lot of these prospects. And you go, oh, yeah, no, it makes total sense as to why you have a Killian Hayes on this team. It makes sense why he's super important. But again, as we're coming up on the draft, I just first of all, Jeff, one last thing before as we're kind of wrapping up this video. Do you think it's more important that the Pistons get a bucket getter or a bucket stopper? Because as I'm watching these playoffs, what I'm noticing is that there are a ton of guys in this league that can get you a bucket. But Jeff, I would say you can count on one hand the amount of guys that are true ball stoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue Detroit, the thing they need in the draft the most, even though we obviously need guys who can get themselves a bucket, but if we want championship title, like title potential, we need Jabari's defensive prowess. We need Chet's defensive prowess.
Right.
To me, that's the gold in this draft.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I think you need to draft a guy with, and getting a bucket's important. Obviously, that's why you're taking in the top 3.
But again, how many guys are we seeing? Like we doubled the amount of guys under 25 with 30-point games in the playoffs in the first week. We're seeing guys who can come in and get a bucket. That's not as special anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's what can you give me on defense? And I think there's guys that are going to, like you said, you mentioned Jabari, even Paulo. I think he's bad. I mean, listen, there's things he needs to work on, but you draft a guy because of that upside, what he can be on the defensive side of the ball. I think his versatility, any of those guys. I mean, Paulo can get better on that side of the ball. You can get Jabari Smith. I get, his perimeter defense is great. I mean, just playing against bigger guys, he can get better in a lot of different areas. But that's why you draft them, Sean, because of the upside. Like, know what they can be. So to answer your question, if you can get both of those traits in a guy, and I see some guys in this draft that can have both of those traits, you go ahead and you take them. You don't take a maybe. I just don't agree with your only first round pick. You can't.
Exactly. 100%. It's why like even with the, talking football for 30 seconds. It's why the Lions trading up to get a wide receiver in Jamison Williams, that kind of risky pick, is okay, because at the very least you went and got an Aiden Hutchinson who is as surefire of a player for that system as you can get.
Bingo.
You got to go get your surefire. You got to go get what is going to win in this league. The reason why Evan Mobley was perfect for Cleveland was because they had Darius Garland to start with. We have Cade Cunningham to start with. Go get us our Evan Mobley. Go get us our defensive freak. And that's going to be the thing to take us to the next level. But more importantly, what do you think? Let us know in the comment section down below. But also, ladies and gentlemen, we are near 1,000 mother subscribers, baby. So help us get there, please.
Yes,
we need to get there soon. Who knows?
Tell a friend.
Maybe we'll even do a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. Be sure to be tuned for that. But that is going to do it for us. That's today. Follow my guy, Jeff Frady, at Twitter at Jeff Frady. Me and Sean Off Court. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will catch you next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.